It's lovely kind of hanging out with friends via the internet. And so it's really nice to be able to catch up with Freya Ridings for a virtual
Hi,
coffee.
Jenny.
Hello there. Do you know what? I feel, look, you've gone in the garden, you've got a gorgeous fairy dress on, you look like you've made an effort, and here I am just sat in my
Oh,
sofa by my sofa.
honestly, thank you so much for giving me a reason to get ready. Like, I literally feel so excited for any excuse to get ready. So I was like, oh, I've been looking forward to chatting for a while. Made a
Uh,
coffee.
Oh,
Got ready.
excellent. Okay, yeah, cheers. Me too. There we
Cheers.
go. Cheers. Nice to see you. Your hair, have you done your hair as well? You've actually
Oh,
put effort in.
I'm trying to put no heat on my hair. So I've just been sleeping in plaits, which I find is like much better, which I didn't know because I was having it done every day and it was just ruining it. So it's just I'm sure like lots of people just hair masks all the time, no
Yeah.
heat.
Do you know what? I just desperately wanting the hairdressers to open up again so I can
Your
get
hair
back.
looks lovely.
I said, well, that's because I'm cutting off the top where the roots are. If I come
I
down
love
a
that.
bit, oh,
That's amazing.
that's why I do it. And thank you so much for joining me. I know you say
Thank
that
you for
you,
having me.
well, like, you know, you say you've made an effort today. I've been watching you on Instagram. I'm always watching from like in a lycra outfit or something, and you're there, dolled up, gorgeous dress, making an effort.
Thanks. Honestly, I put, that in at the beginning of lockdown because I had this feeling that it was going to last a while. And I love seeing fans every week and I love like, getting dressed up for shows. It's like, when you've been on tour and you're so used to that, that's like, I love sort of doing baby glam at home. I'm not as good as my makeup artist by a long shot, but I
Yeah.
love it. It's fun.
There's one picture you've put up recently, and you just went, "It's you looking fantastic," but then you went, "Excuse all the makeup brushes underneath the radiator." I love
It's true. I'm at home. Like literally I'm at home with my family and it's like it's kind of a mess. Like we're quite bohemian. So yeah, just people getting to see it all. It's great.
I love the fact that you actually clean your brushes. I don't think many people actually do.
Well, I have so many different makeup kits from touring in like different bags. I was like, right, they're all coming together. All the boys, all the makeup brushes, and I'm gonna wash them all in one go. And I've just been watching so much YouTube of people doing their makeup. I'm like, I should buy new brushes. I'm like, no, I should wash the ones
Yeah.
I have.
And so
Yeah.
tell me, Freya, where are you? Who are you in lockdown with? It looks very nice where you are.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've come outside because it's much nicer in the garden. But I'm in North London at home with my family, with my mum, my dad, my brother Arden, and it's just been, really lovely to see them for this amount of time because this is the longest I've been at home in 3 years. So, trying to make the best of it in that way. Obviously, making sure that everyone's safe and well.
Yeah. Does it feel strange, when I suppose when you're in your 20s and then you go home to living with your mum and your dad and your brother, is it like you've gone back to that kind of old school setup?
Well, I haven't moved out yet. I kept trying, and then I'd go away for another 3, 6 months, and it was like there's just no point. So for me, it's kind of like I've always lived at home. We were homeschooled for a bit, me and my brother, so we're already really close. So for me, it's kind of like you're right, reverting back to the old days of like being in homeschool. And I love it. It's kind of like just playing piano and board games and paint. We got into watercolors recently, so that was fun.
I know I
'Cause
did
my
see.
dad's a really good artist.
Really? So that's something that you've done new in lockdown, as
Mm.
well, a bit of painting.
Yeah. It's just so therapeutic. I think we're all looking for that kind of therapeutic mind outlet where we can just kind of escape in our brains and like, I'm dyslexic, so reading's never been like I love absorbing stories by like film and TV, but reading has never been my strong thing. So I'm really trying to get into that as well.
Yeah.
So it's pushing everyone out of their comfort zones in some challenging but sometimes brilliant ways.
I love the
Yeah.
fact you were so motivated because I had a huge list of plans for the start of lockdown.
Yeah.
I was
What
like,
did you have?
well, I haven't done any of them, so I don't even know if we should go over them. I was
No,
going to get
because it's always
really fit. So I was going to go
yeah,
out, do like loads of
you
exercise,
are.
diet loads. I'm going to emerge from lockdown like a supermodel. It's not happened. It's not happened at all.
Do you think everyone had that thought around the banana bread making day when we all made a banana bread on the same day with the same bananas? We were like, let's all come out of this looking completely like different. But there's been a backlash to that I've been finding really therapeutic and the kind of like, take this time. Like this doesn't have to be like furiously productive like we always are. Like we can just be quiet for a little bit of our lives and then hopefully, reset our brains and come back sort of feeling fresher.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean about the pressure. It's a lot.
I'm glad that you said that you've made banana bread. We've done that as well. We had, obviously, that's something we all have ticked off the list.
Yes, it was fun. Was it Tiger King and banana bread?
Yeah. Have you done any Insta Live workouts? Because that's been a thing as well.
I've done a lot. Well, actually, the workout program that I follow is already online because I travel so much and I do it in hotel rooms and on tour buses and backstage. So for me, it's literally exactly the same. I haven't changed at all. But I've been kind of recommending it to friends. It's my friend, she's called Mary Helen Bauer, and she's a professional ballerina, and she does like this kind of bar Pilates, like it's very, very low impact, but I absolutely adore it. I love it so much. It makes me, I'm not a dancer at all, but it makes me just feel like a bit like a ballerina once a day, and I love it.
Oh,
I couldn't recommend it more. Ballet Beautiful.
well, I guess you have been busy because is it right that you've been using this time as well to do some writing? And I mean, because you just came off this massive tour. So really, should this be downtime for you anyway?
Yeah, I feel so incredibly lucky because this was already supposed to be like home time and writing time. And for all the friends that I have that work so hard on incredible records, and they were just about to tour the world with them. And I was like, oh, my heart literally, I was like, oh. But it's just that thing where we just get even more time to spend with the piano or our instruments. And it's quite daunting. Like I think that feeling of like productivity can kind of that pressure can flow into that. Like I saw an interview with Billie Eilish on Instagram, and she was saying like at the beginning of lockdown, the pressure to kind of create is like, it's such a serious time. And I think when your hindbrain is kind of taken over with like worry for the people you love, you find it just really hard to think of anything new because your brain's like so on that. But now we're kind of getting into a new stage where I feel like creating is possible again. And I've been writing like, choruses, not entire songs, but getting to play them every week on Insta Live is it's a lovely, it's like almost like going back to open mic night days where you get to share new songs with people in their rawest forms and see their genuine reactions. So I look forward to sharing that every week, and it gives me something to aim towards, which I think is very important
Yeah.
in these times.
I do agree with you with that. So then if you're writing little choruses and then playing them out, does the feedback you get determine whether you carry on with that song or maybe if you adapt it a
I
little bit?
haven't been showing like just the choruses because that would be kind of a bit dangerous. It's not a bad idea. But the newest songs, like for sure, I think that like that feedback when I used to play a pub and I would like play like Lost Without You and some other new songs, and they'd be like that one, and I was like, okay, I'll keep that one. Like, and then we'll just continue. It's a constant evolving, like sort of Hunger Games. It's harsh, but like the weakest ones just don't make it.
Yeah.
Um, but I kind of love that, and I love like interacting with people and getting to see it in real time. So for me, that's been one of the biggest positives of this whole thing because I never would have done that unless it had been for this. So the fans have been so supportive.
Are you still doing them every single week? 'Cause I mean, when you go online,
Yeah.
I mean, you're up there, it's like an hour or so anyway, so it's a really great watch.
Oh, thank you so much for watching. I didn't know you'd been watching. It's like it's that crazy thing where just from your front room you can get just so much human connection that we're all just like craving so much. But I just thought it was important early on to be kind of consistently there for people, like just at least once a week. Like I was thinking of doing something every day, but then I was like, I'll probably never write again. So for me, it was just once a week just to check in with people and just sing some old songs and new ones and do a jam session. Had a vibe.
I mean, you say that like it's a really easy thing to do because, right, I can't even play the recorder. I'm rubbish. But then I'm
I
watching you
can't
do.
play the recorder. The recorder is surprisingly hard.
Oh, is it good? Because
Yeah,
I can only play Three Blind Mice on it.
that's more than most people I know can do. Musicians all find recorder really hard. It's
Okay, well,
woodwind basically.
okay, I'm really pleased that I can play Three Blind Mice on a woodwind instrument then. But I can't. Every other instrument is a complete minefield. And there you are on your Instagram live doing the piano, and then all of a sudden you bring out what looked like a ukulele and just start playing that. It's like
I haven't touched that ukulele in years, and then I was like, oh, I should probably have like rehearsed for a few days before this because I used to play guitar all the time, and I feel like that was quite a transferable thing between ukulele. But I play piano most of the time. But I love ukulele. It's one of my favorite instruments. It's so light. You can
yeah,
put it in your suitcase when you're traveling, and like for little kids, and it's such a good birthday present for
yeah.
little kids.
And I know my daughter has one actually. It's her little
Oh,
mini
does
guitar.
she?
Yeah, she loves it.
Oh,
She can play much more than I can. Can you do any other instruments? I bet you
it's
can.
mainly guitar. But I used to play way more than piano because for being able to carry it, I had to put it like on my back and carry it to all these different pubs around London. so for me it was like I physically couldn't carry the piano. I would have loved to. So it kind of like I used to play Lost Without You on guitar much more than piano. So it's a strange one. I love getting to play piano every night I turn up, and the fact that people have lifted it there, I'm like, oh, oh, it's just the best feeling.
I find it hard to believe that Lost Without You is, I mean, you released it first 3 years ago now, which is just insane. And then we started playing it smooth.
You
Um,
guys were the first to play it. I
I,
remember that so clearly. And I was like in the car on the way back from the airport, very like late at night. And I was on my own, and I was like, I think my phone has connected to the speakers, to the driver. I think it was like, I think it's connected. And he was like, it's not connected. And I was like, but how is it playing? And I was like, oh my God, Smooth played my song. I literally freaked out so hard. So thank you for that. That was like one of my favorite moments of 2018.
is it really strange for that first time when you hear your own music playing on the radio?
It's baffling, like genuinely, like just awe inspiring. And I think it's like you guys don't realize the impact that it has, because it's, I don't know, as like a writer, when you hear your song on the radio, you're like, that's the dream. Like that's the thing we've all been aiming for from when you're like a little kid playing your ukulele, like writing songs, like fingers crossed that you never know. You never know how it gets there. And it's just like this magical thing. I will never stop being excited when I hear it. Ever.
So from the minute your song was played for the first time, how long after that did your friends and family keep going, I can hear you on the radio? I mean, how long until the novelty of hearing you on the radio kind of wore off?
Quite a long time. I still get, it's such a lovely excuse for people to like reach out, especially now in other countries, like, you know, friends in Australia or like Germany, they're like, we hear you on the radio, and that's never been a thing there before. So for me, it's just a lovely excuse to like get to chat to old friends I haven't spoken to in a long time. It's just the greatest. It's like you're outreaching, you know, people that you would have never thought of. So I love that.
Have things changed massively for you since that time?
I mean, like, Jewel, it's like I feel a bit like Hannah Montana, like not in a, like it's the strangest life. Like it really is, because you can one day be on stage in front of 30,000 people, and this roar, like this like wave of energy hits you in the chest, and you're like, this is a dream. Like this is literally like walking into a film. What is going on? And then you're at home doing the washing up with your mum, and you're like, you know, cooking the next day, because I haven't moved out. So for me, it's that my family and my, you know, being at home ground me so much. And I don't think you could really do it without having that grounding force or someone or something that grounds you, because it's so electrifying. Like it's just everything that I could have hoped for. But yeah, everything's kind of changed and nothing at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah, I bet. But also, I mean, you come from a family who are into writing, and your dad's an actor as well. Is that
Yeah.
something? I mean, a lot of singers have made the crossover. Is that something that you can see yourself doing one day as well?
No, but thank you so much for saying that. My mum's an actor, she's more of a writer now, but my brother wants to be, and basically live in a family of actors. It's so theatrical. It's so like everyone's putting on like skits the whole time around the kitchen table and telling stories. And I love it so much. And I love actors. But for me, I think I was on stage one time in like a school play, and I played like a blue bottle fly in the school nativity. It was like the worst day. And I was like, I I can't be on stage as not myself. And I was like, this is the scariest thing. I have so much respect for them. Absolutely don't know how they do it. But no, there's a mutual respect there, but I don't think I would ever. It's amazing that people would even like consider that, because I'm not good at that.
I know. Well, you never know. You never say never. You never know what will
You're
happen.
right. You're
What will
right.
come along, I guess.
You
And
never know.
so, so what's happening now then? Where are you work? What are you working towards? Because at this time in lockdown, obviously, a lot of people are having light bulb moments and planning what they're going to do when we emerge
Yeah.
from the other side.
Oh, it's almost kind of like post heartbreak fuel. Like it's very similar to that kind of like, we've got this time now to really like remember who we are and like visualize what we want for the future. I think I love visualizing, you know, even as scary as it is, to kind of like dream bigger than you kind of, your brain can kind of comprehend. It's so scary, but when you do it, it's, you know, incredible what happens. So I've been trying to like visualize what the next 10 years of my life could be like, because I kind of like to do it in 10-year chunks. And the last time that I did that was 10 years ago, and I was 16, and it kind of like all happened. So I'm like, let's do it again. Why not? And I write a diary every night. So that really helps kind of like anchor and like ground the day. But visualizing wise, like writing for the next album, like visualizing like what the next tours are gonna look like and sound like, and maybe people to collaborate with as well. That's kind of like on the forefront of my mind.
Who would you like to collaborate with?
There are so many people. I think your brain obviously like shoots straight to like your heroes, like childhood heroes, like, you know, Adele, like Florence and the Machine, but also like Hosier, like Paolo Nutini, like people's like voices who just soul, absolute pure soul. Like I just obsessed with them. It would be just an honor that they even, you know, would know who I am, but it would just be the best thing ever.
Of course they would. Because you said some good British stars. That's the thing. I think in the UK we have some amazing talent as well, don't we?
The soul is like, it's the strangest thing because I think growing up, the writers and like songwriters and voices of the UK, like that's one of our biggest exports. Like, and you know, no one really talks about that. Like, that's crazy. And it's like for little people growing up, it's like it's a very valid career choice. There's a lot of different jobs in this industry, and it's like, and it's so much fun. And when you write your own, you know, destiny and you write your own songs, anything's possible. So
I
yeah.
know. I do agree. Do you know, I love the fact that in your in the video for You Mean the World to Me, you have literally
Yeah.
brought out your best calling card yet and got in some Game of Thrones stars to appear in the video. I mean, I know that's
Oh,
not a
Maisie.
singing collaboration, but that is amazing.
She was absolutely like, talking about incredible actors, she was just spellbinding. Like the most incredible acting I've ever seen. I was like, literally, we met like 3 hours before, and she was just like, she was just so emotionally kind of intelligent and just like on the ball. And so was Lena Headey, who was directing the video. So between the two of them, it was just all female, strong cast, and I was like, oh, it was just one of the best days of my life. It was so much fun. We ended up
For
crying
anyone,
in each other's arms.
oh
It
my
was a
God,
thing.
it's amazing. For anyone that doesn't know, so Maisie, she was in Game of Thrones as Arya Stark, and then you had Lena
Yeah,
who actually played Cersei Lannister. But that's, I mean,
yes, she did.
how did that come about?
That came about. We, I think, Lena actually got in touch with my indie label, and she was saying that she's getting into doing music videos, and that she's heard the next single and she would love to do it. And we were like,
Oh my God.
okay, that's great. Like, that's just the craziest. That's the stuff I love about this is you never know who's gonna say hi, and you never know like what incredible people you're gonna get to, you know, work with. So that was just, yeah, it was a day in December, and we did it at this old derelict mansion, kind of like it's all like falling down, and there was like snow falling. It was just, oh, it was so magical. Felt like Game of Thrones.
It would be quite cool to do that, I've got to say. Can I ask as well? We've been asking quite a lot of people on these chats that I've been having. I've been
Yeah,
asking them to think back on their first gig because for us, I mean, it never looks like a musician is nervous or scared or has any kind of anxiety about getting up and performing. But do you remember your first gig, not to family and friends, but to people that you didn't know, a room full of strangers? Do you remember where it was or when it was or how it felt?
yeah, that's such a good question because it's so true. Like everyone gets so nervous. I think the longer that you go without doing it as well, the nerves come back. So after quarantine, it's gonna be so interesting. But my first gig, I was 11, and I was at a new secondary school, and I saw an open mic night poster on the wall, and I remember being like, "What is an open mic night?" And then I got my guitar, and I sort of secretly kind of brought it into school, and I had my dad's, I think I was wearing my dad's coat, and I didn't take it off, and I didn't look up the whole time, and everyone was on bean bags, but they thought that I was it was only for the sixth formers, but I was in year 7. But because I was so tall, they didn't know that I wasn't like 60. So they let me play, and I played 2 songs that I'd written, only sung them in my bedroom up until that point. And it was like, you know, I'd been so shy and I'd been so dyslexic, and it was school was such a struggle for me that getting that kind of moment where I felt like myself for the first time, like on stage and was in school, I was like, this is my favorite thing ever. I'm just, even if I don't get to do this as a job, I'm still going to do this forever. This is so much fun.
Oh my God, what a brilliant story. I
We
love,
actually have video of it.
oh,
My dad found old VHS like video of it the other day. I was like, how did you record this? I was so nervous. Yeah,
I love
it
the
was
fact that he
terrifying.
has a VHS recorder still to play in.
Literally, I know. I was like, how did you find this? He was like, well, I just found it. I was like, okay.
Amazing. Have you always been, I mean, a lot of people watching won't necessarily appreciate how tall you are. And
I
is that
am
just
tall.
How tall are you?
Well, I'm 5'10.5". My mom is always like, "It's basically 6 foot." I'm like, It's not 6 foot. It's 5'10.5". But when I wear heels, I'm definitely like pretty tall. I think the only time I've ever felt not tall is when we did the Sports Personality of the Year award 2 years ago, and I met the whole UK women's no, netball team, and they were so like they were just like absolute glamazons. They were so tall, and they called me shorty, and I was like, I've never felt short before. Because they were all like 6'3". It was incredible. They were
I love it.
stunning.
I'm not as tall as you. I'm 5'9", but a lot of my friends are really
You
like
feel me?
they're all 5'2". So I find
Yeah.
myself kind of doing that.
So
But
fun.
it's funny when you hang out with taller people because you do go, wow, it's
Isn't it?
amazing.
Yeah. My whole band are like, I didn't do it intentionally at all, but they're all really tall dudes. And I'm like, oh, I feel like they're sort of little sister in a way when we kind of walk out on stage, like they're my big brothers. So I love that. But yeah, some of my best friends are like 5 foot. And when we go out together, people are like, you guys like related? Like you're but her older sister. I'm like, no, we're the same age. I'm just much taller.
It's funny, isn't
It's
it?
fun though. Yeah.
Well, look, thank you so much for chatting today. It's been lovely to catch up with you.
Thank you for having me, Jenny. Thank you so much.
And what does the rest of today in lockdown have in store for you?
Well, this weather has been stunning, so just kind of like, lots of Factor 50 in the shade, and playing lots of piano and maybe, I don't know, getting some ice lollies. I think we've got some ice lolly makers. Gonna make some ice lollies.
Sounds like a perfect day, I've got to say.
Aw, thank you
Um,
for having me so much. It's so
thank
fun.
you. Thank you so much. And look, we can't wait to hear more stuff from you as well, more music. So
Thank
is
you.
there
I can't
anything
believe you've been watching every Tuesday. I'm like,
I know. I mean, I will definitely keep it up. So if you are watching now, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. is
yeah.
basically when Freya goes live. Sorry, you should say this, not me.
No, it's Tuesdays, 8 p.m. I just chose it like a random day. And then every week I'm just saying something that just sounds a bit rude. But at the same time, yeah, Tuesdays, 8 p.m.
See, we've got a busy schedule. Tuesdays, 8 p.m., we've got you. Thursdays, 8 p.m., we all clap. We're filling our diaries.
For real, I was like, you know what? That kind of breaks up the week and like gives us something to aim towards because I just love having something to look forward to. I look forward to it so much.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that.
All right. Thank you so much. Stay safe and really hope to catch up with you again soon.
Hopefully see you soon. Yeah. Thank you so much,
right.
Jenny.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.